I went out and got a new toy today. Halogen lights. I'm currently lying to myself about how great they're gonna be and warm up this place so much. It ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna keep telling myself that, so that way I wanna stay later and work more. But I'm gonna stay here for a couple hours today, get these lights going, run some more lines, and then maybe get out here one more time to try and really finish things up electrically. If not, I'll be out here this weekend. The moment of truth. Aha! We got light. I remembered it this time. So I'm gonna label my home run that I did yesterday, or this weekend. And then this next one, I'm gonna start running it up. And then I got it almost all the way to that first outlet in the bedroom, but my drills just can't keep up. They're overheating even in this cold weather, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's all right. I'm gonna start running the next line, label this one, catch up to there. Hopefully my drills cool off a little bit, and then we can keep on going and hopefully finish this. And then I'm gonna start running for the lights, so I'm gonna have to put in a box here, switches for on and off for the lights in this main area, and then for in the loft. Got another line run, so all the outlets running down through both bedrooms on each side of the living room area are all wired up, and the home run goes straight to the breaker panel. So that's all I'm gonna get done today. It's getting late, but not bad. I'm super happy with these lights too. They're really bright and they're not as blinding as I thought they would be. And I'm gonna continue. You know what? It is warmer in here, so they're doing their job. But anyways, I'm gonna clean up here and then get back out here this weekend. Okay, it's freezing out here. Wow, it is cold. But I brought my space heater because I knew that was gonna happen. So hopefully that helps take the chill out. I got the halogen lights going, so that'll help warm it up a little bit as well. Get my tools going, and hopefully at least take some of the bite out of this cold weather we're having today. But I'm gonna run electrical wire today as well, electrical lines. Put a double box here with 2 switches right next to the door. And I'm gonna have one of them run 4 lights out here, and the other one's gonna run 2 lights back up in the loft. So, gonna get started on those, try and get those done. It's gonna take a while because I only have the one ladder, and I'm just gonna have to basically up in the rafter, just kind of like lean it up against the rafter, get up there to put my holes in, and then be able to get my boxes up there. So, gonna get that going today, and hopefully not freeze. Okay, I put this double gang box on. I know it seems like it's really high. That's because it is. I have 2 children that are going to be living in here, and I don't want them messing with the lights. So I'm putting all the light switches up high, higher than you usually would, just to try and keep it out of reach of my kids. But another thing I want to point out is with the lights. So I'm using all LED lights in here. So I'm going to be using 14.2 for that because they're not, so for the outlets I have 12.2 because put more electricity through it. You want a thicker gauge wire so that way you have less resistance and it's not going to heat up and cause an issue. But with just these little LED lights, there's not that much current going through, so they're not at risk of heating up anywhere near as much. So I'm using the 14.2 for that, and it does also help that 14.2 is significantly cheaper. So that's why I'm doing that. So I'm gonna start running this 14.2 line to the box, bring my heat into the box here, and then I'll run the lines out from here to the lights. All right, with the help of some sketchy ladder work, I got all the holes drilled out. So I have 2 wires coming up. They're gonna come out of here, run up, come on over. I'm gonna have a light there, comes up over the top, put another one there, runs down. I'm gonna have one right before, so you see where I braced that, like connected the ridge beam together, the bay right before that, right there. I'm gonna put a light and a light, and I decided I'm gonna run another one down because I'm putting my stove in this corner. So where the loft overhang is, I'm gonna have another light in there as well. So that way I got some light right over the stove for when I'm cooking. But then the other wire, it's gonna follow the same path out to there, but that's just gonna keep going. And then up there, I'm gonna have, let's see, like right there, it's light and light. All right, the main line is ran for the lights. Comes up and over. Got a little bit of a loop where I'm putting each light, so that way I can hook it up into the recessed lights I have. And I got a little bit more than was necessary there, but I'm not exactly sure how far off. I'm gonna measure my stove and I'm just gonna have that light centered over where the stove is gonna be. So I have a little bit more than necessary, but that'll get cut down to length eventually. But right now I'm going to run the other line for lights, which will come out of this box as well, and that's gonna run up the similar path, but it's just, instead of cutting back over like here where it cuts back, we're actually just gonna keep it running back there, and then we'll have that one in, and then all the lights for within the Shedition will be ran. And then outside of that, I only have to run one more line, and it'll be for my, my 10-2, which will be for my dryer. So. All right, despite freezing weather and only having one ladder that's not long enough, all the lighting wire is ran. I gotta run the 10-2 for my dryer. That's gonna come up, over, down, and then over, not to this box, but 2 bays over. And that's what I'm gonna do for that. And then the end of this month, I'm getting my solar system in, and we'll be able to get that set up and hooked into the breaker box, and then we'll be able to get power to all this, so I don't have to run the generator all the time, which will be amazing. So gonna finish up running all the electrical here for the Shedition, and then we're done with that until we cut that out and make the connector for the Shedition to the camper. Dryer line is ran. That's the last line I needed for inside the Shedition, so that's good. The only other lines that are going to come out of there are actually going into the camper / into our hallway. So I'm gonna take some measurements for the hallway area that we have to build still, that's going to connect the Shedition to the camper, so that way I know everything I need for that. And then I'm also going to take measurements for plumbing, because tomorrow I'm going to be out here with my dad, and we'll get all the plumbing lines ran, and then I'll probably end up starting to make runs to start bringing insulation, so that way we can start tossing some insulation in here next weekend. So just going to take some measurements and clean up over here and start grabbing some stuff at Home Depot and Lowe's to get everything else we need. My dad's out here. We're gonna have heat. It's actually gonna warm up. And we have some leftover insulation from another job. We're just gonna cut that up and toss it in the soffits, so that way we have less airflow coming in and out, so that way we can actually warm it up a little bit in here today while we work. I did notice as well, never wired up the bedrooms for their lights, so I'm gonna have to run another line over to these and get lights in there, and then we're gonna run the plumbing. Getting the last piece up. Now we got insulation stuffed in the soffits. Got the propane heater going. It's like a warm summer day.
I might have to put on a Hawaiian shirt.
forgot to record for a second. But we're running the line over, up, and it's gonna go out over to here, so that way we can connect into where the water's gonna be coming into, which is gonna be in that connector piece in between the camper and the Shedition. But we're just going around running the supply lines with PEX. Got these 90s, crimping them down, and then we'll have water lines run to washer, dryer, sink, and dishwasher. We ran the plumbing lines for the running out to the washer and the sink in here, and for the dishwasher. So got that done. Got the last lights or wire ran for the lights in the kids' rooms. So got a good bit done, but we're wrapping up today. But while we were leaving, ta-da! Got a nice water heater. Fortunately, it has a couple dings, but I don't know. We'll hook it up, make sure it works, but I don't know. Hopefully it works, because otherwise it's a pain, because now I got to figure out how I'm going to send it back and get a new one. So, joy. But anyways, we'll see you next weekend.